Okay, first of all, warning: explicit content. Okay, warning: no, no kids should do this. So not for kids. Okay, I'm gonna do my update on life extension. I started in the 80s in life extension. If you want to know about that, look up Dirk Pearson and Sandy Shaw, Life Extension: The Practical Scientific Approach. And that's what I take daily in that crate. Every day. And I started a new regime, zombie cell removal, using quercetin and another substance. For I think I'm now about a month, 2 months, I think. I added a few other things like oils and that kind of stuff. Not for you, Evio. You little beanhead. Anyway, so what have I observed? Oh, increased strength and stamina. Okay, actually quite a bit of it, and huge amounts of energy, as well as sexual energy. Like wow, like I discovered it again. What I did when I was a kid, but this has always been sexual, by the way. Increased libido, increased sperm production, increased intensity. Like, well, when you know what? I feel like I'm going off to another dimension. Everything is like, wow, I never felt like this before. My hair is actually black. It's been that way for a number of years or decades, or ever since. Well, yeah, okay. So I wanted to pass that along, and I study up on life extension, and there was an interesting article by a Russian on sunlight, how it extends telomeres at certain frequencies. As I remember, it was 24 gigahertz and 70, somewhere 75 gigs. I can't find that article again, but I just finished up working, lifting heavy things around, and as I mentioned, in the machinery room, lathe pieces and parts and trucks. You know how heavy they are, but I don't know, something's going on. It's quite interesting, I must say. Skin is smoothing out, wrinkles are going away. Anyway, I just wanted to mention life extension, what I'm doing, how it's causing things to happen, good things. If it's interesting to anybody, I'm sure it is. But I also study Dr. Berg's YouTube channel for information on all the stuff he knows, and a few others once in a while. But I'm impressed with Dr. Berg. This over here, I think. A lot of information coming out on certain things that were kind of suppressed by pharmaceutical companies, I would think. But in there, okay. Like to keep changing the blood pressure regulations or norms or whatever you call it. If you're getting lower and lower, that means supplying more pharmaceuticals, of course. And calcified arteries, it's simple to get rid of that. Like, example, K2 in milligrams, if you can get it. Life extension has that in milligrams. Excuse me. Bippity boops. Burping I am. Anyway, I just touching upon this because it's fascinating stuff. I sleep very well. Good dreams. Sometimes I'll take a nap. Sleep for an hour, maybe. I'm like with Mr. EVO, of course, and I get up and do my stuff and go to bed around anywhere from 11 to 12 or 12:30. Sleep all the way through, feeling good. So if you want to learn about life extension, check it out on the internet. It's interesting and fun. Confirmed by a doctor a long time ago too. He said I was a late bloomer. Well, I can't bloom anymore. I don't know. I mean, as I mentioned repeatedly, I would never join that out there. Never have. To me, it looks like a madness, and it's very, very interesting to watch. But then there's people that have very calm personalities and souls that can actually handle that out there. So, anyway. Noticed this more when I got out of the hospital. I'm doing a lot more, like double things without thinking about it. Then I got on this getting rid of zombie cells system and other things I'm taking. It's really fascinating stuff. Anyway, for me, I study it all the time. If you want to learn about that, check out Dr. Berg, Berg, on YouTube. Or you can go deeper into other people there. On YouTube, there's a lot of stuff on that whole internet videos. You know, I watch a lot of videos, and I skip fast through them because I'm always learning. Like with my dad's encyclopedia, I learned. So I'm still pretty stupid, in my opinion. I learn all the time. Thanks to many mentors I had over the years, even as a kid. I had a private tutor. I didn't want to go to school. I never did go to school. I kept running away from it, so I had a private tutor. Mr. Volamy, an Englishman from North Shore College on Queens Road. He would teach me a lot of stuff. Then, as years passed, I had my Riverview adventure and learned a lot there, that's for sure. Ship's adventures. Johnny Cedar in the 70s on machining stuff and doing things. Going in his home was like going back to the 40s. Even his telephone was from the 40s, his stove was. I sure learned a lot from him. And Thomas Lee Richardson, later on, who was Tesla's friend, told me a lot of things, showed me a lot of things. No, I had a lot of mentors, and then later on when I got into science stuff, as discovered by Mel Winfield and later George Hathaway and Alex Pizarro, I met all kinds of scientists over the years. Probably 100 or more. Some were close friends. I stay with them. They stay with me. A lot of them famous names, and I communicate with The ones that are still alive, for Pete's sake. I guess I'm the youngest nutcase around, but I communicate with these folks all around the world. One of the newer brightest scientists is Bob Greener and Martin Fleisch from the Memorial Project. He's a spark in a interesting world. Then there's a few others coming up. Some of the young generation. It's good to see them doing their stuff. Yeah, it's good to see that happening. They have live streams once in a while. I don't join in, but I haven't got time really. Because I'm always busy. If I'm on the computer, I'm usually busy checking stuff out. How to this, how to that. And looking for vintage stuff. I spend hours on eBay sometimes, and sometimes I spend hours on YouTube sometimes, and sometimes I spend hours searching. Google search. So, I'm learning. I'm still learning. Learn every day. When was that happen? How to create... What's that sound, EVO? Sounds weird. Anyway, I think it's sunlight expanding metal. Was it 90? Early 90s? Yeah, early 90s. A group of businessmen, Ria Trade Group in Canada, approached me. Carl David Anderson and his others, and the president of the whole Ria Trade Group, businessmen around the world, approached me and wanted me to build a free energy device. Because they got stuck with somebody that scammed them. So 10 grand. Sure, I can do it for you. I guarantee only 1 milliamp, 1 volt. And it passed, and they were happy with it. Your ravens on the roof, for Pete's sake. You hear that? And I guess you can't hear that, but they're walking around, plop, plop, plop. Anyway. It worked, and there was supposed to have been secondary investors, which never showed up, from China. We're into 24 million for production, but they never showed up, and I wandered off into other areas. But also some of the TV shows aired, and that created a whole group of other investors, especially in Japan. Holy mackerel. I was on my... Yeah, when I'm in Mr. Yamabe, Hiroshi Yamabe. That's fascinating. I was on sunbathing and sitting on my sister's grass, backyard. Yamabe thing comes up with a girl. He's always got different women, every time he shows up. And he wanted to buy something from me, and he bought it for a good price. Then he says, I get you to Japan. So time passed. He did. First was lectures on the anti-gravity stuff I used to do. I might do again. Then he heavily invested in me, like $250,000, to build power cells, which I did do. At that time, I was working with the Navy ships, of course, So he did. I'd build the power cells, and he'd arrive precisely at 11 a.m. at Sheraton Landmark Hotel and look over what I was doing. Took one of the units with him, and it worked fine. And then he invited me to Japan and paid for everything, plus another $250,000. That went on for a while. Happy customers, you know. And then I met Richard Brewer, who invested 50,000, and we did I made a machine, energy machine. We took to the Canadian Research and Development people who didn't know what to do with it. Later on, I met Thomas. No last names. He phoned me up one day, and are you John Hutchison? Oh, yeah, okay. He's very interested in what I'm doing, and got together in Los Angeles, California. I filmed it all too. It's on video. I might upload it too. But Thomas invested $250,000. We had a lot of fun. And I got videos of the whole entire thing and the energy power unit. Thomas was took measurements and that kind of thing, and then in Japan I had it tested by Kyoto Institute of Technology, of course. And I still have the report from them. So Thomas then sort of wanted to move to Canada and lost track of him. But he wants to visit here sometime, as well as my former lawyer from the 70s, Art Lindmar. But Thomas, after that, when was that? 2007, I think. I forget what. But anyway, I got videos of it. So sailing along, I did a show with Jesse Ventura, True TV, and then other people got involved in financing my adventures. Very well, actually. Very, very well. And I appreciate it very much. So, to present times, by the way. So, no names. Never. Clients should be kept secret. But, okay, I should shut up and get my vitamins. You should take them at 4 o'clock. Then get slowly ready to go home. So, oh God, yeah, I sold metal samples. I sold thousands of dollars in money. Wow, eBay was just, well, my feedback is pretty positive. Somebody in Canada, somebody in Australia wanted some and he paid for it, and then somebody else is talking about getting some from the ones I found in my gun crate, because I got rid of them, most of them. The guy in Scotland, MH, bought a massive load of those things, and we actually did a trade for vintage Oerlikon cannon parts, like 800 kilos of them. That was quite a project. And then the other fellow in California bought a massive amount. That was about 100-pound boxes going out. And then I gave many away as gifts to my doctor some months ago. So all that's left is that box I showed everybody on YouTube. Asking price per sample is about $200. And if it's international, please make it $100 shipping, because they really charge a lot for shipping. The smallest box to Australia was roughly $50. So to Canada, at least $100 in shipping. But anyway, I gotta get going here, so I just want to mention my life extension project. And then covers. I'm always up doing these videos, by the way, and always talking about my weird adventures. Why, I don't know. Some psychology today. So I can look it up. Psychology Today. Why I upload videos daily and talk all about nonsense stuff, I guess. Oh well. That's a saying that Ken Shoulders always used. Oh well. So let's go. Let me go here. Oh my god, I sit in the sun sometimes up to 3 hours. And which really, I feel good with that. So I'm gonna go.